Stay with me until the end of this episode, because today we're investigating one of the oldest and most elusive ideas in human thought, the moment when consciousness forgot its own wholeness. This is Omniscient, where we examine the records, the symbols, and the traces of what humanity once knew. In the beginning, before history, before even time as we understand it, there was no division. Consciousness was whole, light was one, and what we now call love and wisdom existed as two currents of the same source. The ancients called this totality the pleroma, a Greek term meaning fullness, completion, the divine field in which nothing is missing. But then something happened. According to early Gnostic accounts, one of the emanations of that divine field, a principle called Sophia, meaning wisdom desired to know itself independently from the totality. That act of self-reflection was not rebellion, it was curiosity. Yet, in that instant of separation, something fundamental fractured. The reflection became distortion. The one became two. Sophia's story is not about a fall from grace in the moral sense. It's the story of consciousness exploring its own edges, of awareness venturing too far from its center. The consequence of that exploration was forgetting. And in the myth, that forgetting gave rise to our world a realm of matter, boundaries, and time. From that moment, the human experience became the mirror of Sophia's journey. We know everything about survival, progress, and analysis, and yet, something in us still feels missing. We build civilizations out of reason, but silently, the heart keeps asking, what did we lose? This inner question is the echo of the pleroma, the call of the soul remembering its origin. Across cultures, the same theme appears, the longing to return to unity. The Egyptians spoke of the lost eye of Horus, the Hebrews of the exile from Eden, the Greeks of the broken harmony of the spheres. Every myth points to one wound, the mind and the heart separated from each other. Sophia represents the mind's brilliance, the hunger for knowledge, order, and clarity. But without the balancing presence of Christ, the archetype of divine love, that knowledge becomes sterile, detached from meaning. The Gnostics warned that wisdom without love produces not truth, but domination. Intelligence without compassion gives birth to blind forces. In their writings, these blind forces were called the archons, rulers, governors, invisible structures of control that shape both cosmos and psyche. Modern interpreters read them not as literal beings, but as mental patterns. Fear, pride, and judgment, the invisible programs that run when consciousness forgets its source. Every time we identify solely with thought, every time we choose fear over understanding, we feed the archons. And yet, even here, the myth offers hope. The Gnostics insisted that nothing is lost forever. The light that once descended into matter remains within it, dormant, but intact. Sophia's descent is therefore our own. Each human life repeats her pattern. We fall into confusion, we seek, we suffer, and eventually through awareness we remember. The act of remembering is the beginning of redemption. One line from the Gospel of Philip captures it perfectly. Wisdom without love is barren, love without wisdom is blind. This is not theology, it's diagnosis. The human condition itself is the separation of these two forces. Our task is not to worship them, but to reconcile them within. The myth of Sophia is not about gods in a distant heaven. It is about us, the fragmented pieces of a single mind trying to remember its unity. The forgetting of oneness was not a curse, but a necessary experiment. Through division, the universe began to know itself. Through return, it learns to love what it has known. In the next episode, we'll examine the figure of Sophia more closely, the living principle of wisdom, how she descended into the realm of form, and what her story reveals about the human search for meaning in a world that has forgotten its light. Stay with me until the end of this episode, because today we're going deeper into one of the most mysterious figures in ancient metaphysics, Sophia, the embodiment of living wisdom. In the Gnostic texts, she is not merely an idea, but a force, a consciousness, and her story might be the most profound mirror of the human condition ever recorded. Sophia, her name means wisdom, in Greek appears across early Christian and Platonic writings as a radiant emanation from the divine source, a being who longs to understand the totality from which she came. But that longing, that desire to know, set in motion a chain of events that would echo across existence itself. The Gnostics described Sophia as one of the aeons, divine expressions of the infinite. Yet unlike the others, Sophia acts alone. In an act of luminous curiosity, she attempts to comprehend the unknowable, to perceive the absolute mystery without the balance of divine love. In that moment, her vision fractures. Out of pure light, she perceives shadow. Out of unity, she experiences separation. Her fall is not a punishment. It is a descent into experience, a necessary movement of the divine, seeking to understand itself through contrast. Sophia's error, as the Gnostics called it, was not sin but solitude. In trying to know herself apart from the source, she created a world of distance, and in that distance, the material cosmos took form. From her fragmented thought came the archons, the rulers of the lower worlds, not evil beings in the conventional sense, but embodiments of limitation, systems of mind that seek control, order, and definition. They are the cold structures of logic without empathy, knowledge without compassion. In modern terms, they represent every ideology or system that forgets the soul in its pursuit of power. In the Pistis Sophia, one of the most enigmatic Gnostic scriptures, she laments, "The light has left me, and the darkness surrounds me. Yet I trust that the highest will hear my cry." This is not the voice of mythology, it is the voice of consciousness itself, realizing its exile from unity. Her tears, say the texts, became the substance of the world, the oceans, the stars, and the human heart. In each of us, that same longing for reunion persists. The ache we call search for meaning is Sophia remembering where she came from. Every act of curiosity, every moment of insight, every question that arises in silence, all are fragments of Sophia's journey home. She is not the perfection of wisdom. She is wisdom learning through imperfection. She falls so that knowledge can become compassion. She suffers so that truth can become understanding. In her story, knowing and feeling are no longer enemies, they become stages of the same awakening. The Gnostic teachers saw Sophia not as a goddess to be worshipped, but as the living intelligence within human consciousness, the spark that urges us to ask why. When you question what is real, when you seek beyond appearances, when you feel that reality must hold something more, that is Sophia moving in you. In the depths of her fall, Sophia realizes something revolutionary. She cannot return to the source through intellect alone. The ascent requires love the Christ principle. It is only through that encounter that wisdom becomes whole again. In that realization lies the turning point of the entire myth. Sophia's lament transforms into awareness. She sees that the light she thought lost was never gone. It had only changed form, waiting for her recognition. Sophia's journey is therefore not about redemption from sin, but about integration, the reconciliation of mind and heart, knowledge and compassion. Through her, we understand that every fall is an invitation to remember, and that even the darkest experience contains the seed of return. In the next episode, we'll follow the descent of the Christ, the principle of conscious love that enters the world of division, not to condemn, but to accompany. It is the moment when compassion takes form, and the divine begins its journey back through humanity itself. Stay with me until the end of this episode, because today we're tracing the descent of the Christ not as a historical figure bound by doctrine, but as a timeless principle of love entering the field of division to restore what was forgotten. This is omniscient, where myth becomes lens and symbol becomes evidence of consciousness itself. In the Gnostic vision, the Christ is not merely Jesus of Nazareth, though he becomes its living image. The Christ is the Logos, the living word, the intelligence of love that holds all things together. If Sophia is the impulse to know, the Christ is the power to heal. One seeks to understand, the other seeks to unite. Together, they represent the two halves of divine consciousness. When Sophia fell into the realms of matter, her cry for reunion reached the highest light. The records say the Christ responded not as a God descending from above, but as the vibration of love permeating the worlds below. He descended through all the heavens, says the Pistis Sophia, to reach the one who had lost her place in the light. To descend here does not mean to lose purity, it means to draw near.